Well, dear, I know life is exciting and everything, but if you could use a few extra bucks instead of spending them, delivery programs can help out some. And do join Dark Biscuits here for advice on how to get going, or for motivation, or for smarts and knowledge when it comes to these things. Okay, let's start it off here. Here is a four stop, two restaurant, two customers over at Burger King and somewhere else. They don't tell you what for Uber Eats, 22 minutes. I did not take this one, but I'm just pointing it out. You could, because you could take three of those maybe in an hour. So maybe a $24 hour way, 20 to 24 if you're a little slower. And then 2.7 miles. So that's basically a 3-for-1, pretty easy, $3 to mile. So a good order. I just ended up passing because of all the stops. I usually like less stops. I like seeing that one restaurant, one customer. In other words, the two stops instead of two places, and four stops because of the risk involved. And I always like to figure out a dollar amount into that. For example, and you might want to think about this, if you have $5 into four stops and it's only 1/2 a mile or something like, looks great, the ratio and everything, even $6, but you got to figure all that risk. With four stops, a lot of things can go wrong. A restaurant can be slow. There can be some type of accident in your way. Number three, fill in the blank. I mean, a lot of things could go wrong, and that's why you want to tactically think to yourself, for four stops, you want to see more like, $10, $12 and higher if it's only 2 miles, or 3 miles. I mean, and those do come by, and they come by every now and then. So it's just something to think about. I think when you're delivering, and maybe this helps you out if you're new to that, especially, yes, just something to think about, because you don't want to be stuck in things and then think afterwards. I mean, you can feel it out, but this is from experience. Here's a second one I passed on, and I'm pointing this out because these are good orders. There's another real good one, $18 for 10 miles, and it takes 42 minutes. So you're probably looking at something like 25 an hour plus, 25 to $30 an hour, depending on your speed, and then almost a 2-for-1, so your miles are only 10. It's four stops, two restaurants that are kind of close to each other, and then the two customers are really close to each other. Still, though, good order. Why am I passing on these at 5 p.m.? Well, because I just began at 5 p.m. and it's, I just want to feel it out and kind of see what else is coming through, because there's a lot of orders that have been popping up. And I didn't say that, but a lot of orders have been coming up, and a lot of good ones. So I'm just kind of seeing what's out there and feeling. I should, I don't want to recommend doing this. You should begin, just take what you can get instead of using it, because you never know if it stops all of a sudden, and use your time just to watch stuff. He could be stuck just sitting there when you could have gotten 10, 20, $30, for the hour. So yeah, I'm under no pressure, I feel like, but still, you don't want to waste time. So I was just curious, that open in 5 or 10 minutes. All of a sudden, Doordash comes through with one of those hell no orders. You go 2 miles, 1.8 miles, and you only $2.50 to go a mile and 0.8, and you don't want to mess around with that. And then it says it may need to be returned if the customer doesn't want it, or something like that, and includes alcohol. Oh boy, I mean, wow, just forget it. $2.50, wow, amazing. And of course, we're coming in strong with one of those hell no orders again from Lowe's. And it says it could be real heavy. You don't know if you're taking, a box of lumber or whatever you're taking, but it's going 28 minutes, half an hour, 6 miles, almost 7 miles, for $3.36. I mean, for half an hour. Again, and then 7 miles almost, and heavy item from Lowe's, could be anything. One of those big hell no orders, easy rejection. I'm just seeing what's out there that first opening 10 minutes or so. So here's one at 5:09. Comes in for $8.31, $8 plus to go 2.4 miles. Real good, 3-for-1. 16 minutes. So you could be doing about $30 an hour if you take it. I'm just curious right now. I'm just watching it because I don't need exactly huge amounts of income right now, but or to pressure myself. I want low stress is kind of what I value too. So I'm just curious for right now. And then I do end up taking this order for $8.83 to go 2 miles, a 4 for 1, for 15 minutes. So it'll put you about $32 an hour or so. From a place called Clean Eats. That's EATZ, Clean Eats. And real close by. So take that one, and that one goes okay. Of course, about this order, goes to apartment building. Always open your either Uber Eats or DoorDash. Scroll down, look for the apartment gate code. If you're going to apartments and you have a little free time beforehand, see if you can find that just to see that it's in there. And that way, that makes that process real easy when you get there. There's a good one I did take from Raisin Cane's Chicken Fingers. Order when I get there, but they prepare it so fast. Great Uber Eats restaurant to go to for $23 for 37 minutes. So real nice. And that is 11.4 miles away. So a 2 for 1, $2 to mile. Just a real good order. Worked out just fine. And that's easily, you take, a couple of those, easily over $30 an hour, 35 maybe. And to point out what I pass on, I do pass on good ones. I don't know whether I'm just tired or whether I'm just, looking for better. I don't know why I would do that, but it's $6.65 to go a mile and a half. That's basically a 4 for 1 trip, $4 to mile from Sonic. So not the slowest place. I guess it was kind of a burger place, so I just wanted to say, if it's McDonald's or something, I might even pass because it's kind of busy out and just wait for a better order going in the direction I want to go in. When you think about those little things, tactical things that you think about, direction and the speed of the restaurant, whether you want to pick up $5 or $6 or wait for more, just things to think about. Okay, so I've never seen that before. Some type of a green hat on a person on the motorcycle. I don't know what that is. Little snorkel or something, or Smurf, I don't know what. Okay, here's one from Costco. I went out a few miles, so I'm out 5 to 8 miles away from my general area. So to get back, take an 11-mile trip for $16.50. That's fine. For 35 minutes, so you're looking at $25 to $30 an hour or so. And standard bag required for one single thing they wanted from Costco. And I forgot to check. It's probably a lot of pay from Uber Eats. I mean, who would tip so much? But it was just one big paper towel stack. And they have those in the back, usually at Costco. I don't know about yours, but they have the paper products way in the back of the store and kind of out of the way. So just a huge thing you have to take. Just for that one thing, I needed a shopping cart, by the way, if that helps. Don't think it's going to be real small. Costco and Sam's Club and things like that. Boy, they pack them in there. I think it was 16 rolls or something like that. Hey, driving with the Dark Biscuits here, coming at you. After that Costco order, I'm on the way. After the Costco order, excuse me, I am along the way. These nice neighborhoods over here, I tell you, is darker than heck almost. But it's going to be dusk time here, but nice neighborhood though. Okay, this is a pool area, nearby pool clubhouse there, with tennis courts, nice neighborhood. Gosh, this nightmare order from Buffalo Wild Wings. It needs to be pointed out. Be careful if you take Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know about the place, whether they make them from scratch or what. I mean, my gosh, it's just chicken wings, I think. I don't know. I've never been there, but to eat anything anyway. But 4.2 miles for $7.86. That's fine. I'll take that for 23-minute order. So maybe $21 an hour or so, if you figure that in. But I waited there for crying out loud. I must have been around a half an hour. So that really blew off my time real bad. And that was not a good, healthy hourly wage when all was said and done. So just beware of, and they're always slow. I say that because Buffalo Wild Wings is always, always slow when I go in there. If I could be the only person and show and drive a while, 5 miles or so to get there, and it'd still be waiting 5 or 10 minutes. So just make sure, check yours, once or twice. And if it's slow, my advice here, my tip is to make sure that pay is elevated. Yeah, the miles needs to be lower, but the pay for the wait, and how long you're going to be waiting, just something to think about, or otherwise avoid, because this is one that I'm kind of like, after a half an hour wait and not passing on, I'm like, man, let me just avoid this in the future. But if the pay is right, then, this is like the third or fourth time I've been there, and it's always a wait. So that pay just needs to be elevated, and it needs to be worth it in the time used. Let's review this one. I took 3 McDonald's ones in order. I had to go back to the restaurant 3 times in a row because they just came in at different times, but it was one after the next. I mean, 7.5 to go 3.3 miles. That was okay. Let's see, $7.70 to go 2.9 miles, and then finally almost $7 to go 1.7 miles. So all those are $2 per mile or better, and that worked out just fine. And I don't know how much time it took. I think it was something like, let's see here, almost an hour or so. But with all that, you figure that that's over $21 or so. And you gotta love it because it's gotta make you smile, and I love HEB. I actually really do like shopping there as a customer. I don't like so much working along their HEB app, which is called Favor. I have to reject most of everything, but here's one. They want you to go shopping for 14 different things. To go 4.5 miles, seems okay. Take you 40 minutes. Okay. That's about right for shopping for 14 items, and it pays $7. $7 to go grocery shopping in almost an hour. If you're slow, if something's not found, if you have any trouble whatsoever, they could earn $7 an hour, which is less than minimum wage in many places. You don't want to be messing with that, no matter the love one may have for HEB, is what I tell myself. Then you got to have things insulated, and it's a shop and pay order, so you do have to shop for all of that stuff. So unfortunate, but that's an easy pass. Order for the local Little Caesars, the pizza, to go a direction I kind of don't want to go because I'm getting near the end of the shift at about 10 p.m. or so. $6.50 to go 3 miles, but it's going farther out. Take you 15 minutes, and I don't want to do that because if it's going a direction again at the end of your shift and you go back, that 3 miles becomes 6 miles for $6.50, even though it takes you 15 minutes. Well, the order does, could end up taking you half an hour to work all through that. So you can see how things kind of collapse in that event. But soon afterwards, got an order for the same distance, 3 miles for $7.19 going the direction I do want to go. That takes 18 minutes. So I took for the burger place, the water burger for that one, and that one turned out okay. Well, this is a local hospital, and I just like waiting here in the parking lot some. If you know your area well, you know where some wait spots are while you wait on orders. You can find shade or tree covering like that. And it won't be so weird like you're parking in the neighborhood somewhere out in front of houses or something like that. Just if you know the local neighborhoods, you have that advantage going for you. So what I want to do here is explain some of my mistakes I made also. From 5 o'clock to 5:15 p.m. I start. It was 0 miles. In those first 15 minutes, I got 3 or 4 or 5 orders, and they were good, and I tried to see what was better. But you should just take while the getting's good, because the thing could shut off at any moment. And don't worry about just being out $2 or $3 or $4. That's silly. So no, take those 2-for-1s. Take those 3-for-1s. I was getting 2-for-1s plentiful. Some of them long, some of them short, but you got to take it to begin to get going. And so that's an egregious error. But I'm in no stress to get money immediately. But for anyone who needs money, that's an egregious error. Figure out how much that costs you when you do that. The second one from just sitting around, and the second reason here, how much it cost you too. You took one that was 22 or something to go 11 miles or whatever, but you end up in the countryside. That's the second mistake. So yeah, it's a 2 for 1, 22 bucks, 11 miles. But if I'm going to the countryside, it's 22 miles. So it's $1 per mile. You can look at it that way because there's nothing, restaurants nearby. It's you're out in, in the middle of nowhere, and you want to avoid those. Again, that's knowing your area. Dark Biscuits here, traveling late. Whoa, I better stay in the lane here. I don't even know this neighborhood at all, this one. I better stay in the lane, though. A little bit of trouble there. And concludes the shift. There it was real busy, and I just want to state that was a Thursday, evening around 5 p.m. to about 10 or so. That was here in Texas, and boy, that was a very busy shift. And as a parent, I mean, I got many double dollar to mile or $3 to mile orders, and I was able to average out okay. So thank you for joining us here at Dark Biscuits.